Hello, this is William McAusland, creator of the Mutant Epoch. Today we're going to be discussing the Crossroads Region. Now here's the cover. Adventure and exploration await. Grab your gas mask, your knee pads, crossbow and blade. Suit up into your junk armor and survival packs to get ready to dive into a world of high adventure. Welcome to the Crossroads Region. It is the year 2364. The Tainted Sea continues to recede, exposing patches of the former megalopolis of Los Angeles. Few areas in the brutal world of the Mutant Epoch are so densely populated, nor so embroiled in factional warfare as the Crossroads region. Here your heroes will explore old war zones, ruined cityscapes, reef-locked relic ships, stinking bogs, and toxic bomb craters. Avoid the deviant hunters of the Holy Purist Empire, and dodge the Mutant Supremacists of Aberratia. At the end of the day, you and your comrades can wash away the grave dust of the ancients with a pint of beer in the bars and saloons of a dozen towns. But even in the scrap and concrete confines of human settlements, keep one eye open, as the abode of man can easily be as deadly as the post-apocalyptic wilderness. The Crossroads Region Gazetteer is the first official setting for the Mutant Epoch role-playing game and contains the sprawling city of Overpass, the purest capital of Pure Hub City, the aberrationist capital of Newburgh, along with 31 other factional and independent communities. Herein, the fortified excavators town of Pitford resides, as well as the village of Walsave from the Mall of Doom adventure. Designed to connect with other upcoming gazetteers, this territory sits directly above uncharted zones meant to be created by the Game Master. No further settings will be published which document the area south of the Crossroads region. Included in this 448-page book are 33 community descriptions, 98 locations of interests, 320 illustrations, 39 maps, 19 non-player characters, plus details on regional factions, ruin areas, outlaws, heroes, organizations, nomadic communities, and much more. Buying this book also grants you access to downloadable maps and game-ready content. As with other Mutant Epoch print books, we start with a grayscale image of the cover art, moving on to the publisher's information page, and the table of contents. Now, of course, in the PDF version, the table of contents are fully linkable. Part 1 is the introduction to the Crossroads region. We're going to look at an overview of the surrounding regions. To the north, the Shallow Sea region resides. To the east is the Shattered region, which will be our next gazetteer. Out in the west, beyond the California coast, is the Atolls region. And then to the northeast is the Wasteland region. Moving on to Part 2, Home Settlement Determination. Part 3 covers the Northern Freehold, which includes Overpass, Pitford, and the town of Array. One of the features of this faction are the Freehold Scouts, which characters can become. Then we come to Array and get your batteries recharged for a hefty price. And then Overpass, the great slum city, population of up to 21,000 people, which in the post-apocalyptic world, that's a huge sprawling city. And like many of the big cities, it talks about the standing army and descriptions of lodging, brothels, and bars in the Overpass. Some images of different buildings like Waterside Saloon, and then there's unique Overpass encounters. There we go. And Overpass bar, pub, and saloon encounter tables. Lots of that. And then on page 47, we come to the Overpass map. This one in the book is pretty detailed, but you can get the downloadable version of this and the print and tile version where it uses 4 sheets to make this map. You see tables covering the primary structures, including the name of the structure, the official purpose, civilians, soldiers, the power supply, and what weaponry may exist there. And moving on to Pitford. Well, clearly Pitford is covered in much greater detail in its own book. But this is for people who don't have a copy of the Pitford book, and it serves as a great overview of the place. And it has its own unique counters. Now we have come to the Lower Freehold. This faction is very similar to the Northern Freehold, but separated by a vast mutated forest. The Purist Empire on the east and the Mutant Supremacists of Aberratia pressing down from the northwest. And here's an illustration of the Southern Ranger, which are equal to the Freehold Scouts of the Northern Freehold. And it briefly discusses some of the communities like Sandbara, and its map, Seaholm, Sorrel, Steel Hill is a large community, but nowhere near the size of Overpass. This city only has about 3,000 inhabitants at tops, and many of them live underground, as this map shows. Part 5, we cover the Dominion of Aberratia. Now this is a Mutant Supremacist Empire, although unlike the Purists, these mutants do not kill pure stocks, clones, and cyborgs. They enslave them. Page 109, we see an illustration showing the various military orders of the Dominion of Aberratia. There's how it is. And it covers several communities: Banner Cove, Dawn Cove, and then there's Hookville, which is a military base. And then we have Newburgh, which is the capital of the Dominion of Aberratia, with a population of about just over 14,000 tops. And its maps. And again, this map is available as a 4-section download. And moving on to various features of the capital of the mutants, including inns, resources and industry, accommodations, bar descriptions, and other services. And then we have different encounters for different parts of town, including bar rooms. And moving on to one of the Aberrationist forts at North Fort, also called Las Calville. And characters are allowed to stay only in the underground sandbar beneath the fortress. Bad things can happen. And Redfield, another community in Aberratia. Rivergrad, the Dominion of Aberratia fortress on the river. Windway, community. On page 185, we come part 6, the Holy Purist Empire. Now these people are pure stock only. If you're not a pure stock, you're off to a place called Witchburn. Included in this book is the Crossroads region as seen by His Holiness Vicar Hornet's Truesight I. This hand-drawn map gives you an idea into the thinking of the average purist. For example, Infidel City is what they call Overpass, while Pitford is called Vile Pit. And here's an illustration showing the purist troops, including Homeland Militia, Conquistadors, Cavaliers of Purity, and Mutant Slayers. There are Sisters of Purity, Brothers of the Purple Order, and Battle Priests. Then moving up to the higher ranks and religious orders, you have Sainted Mother of Virtue, Blessed Father of Righteousness, Divine Generals, Vicar, and then the lowly Street Preacher. And we're getting into some of the communities and fortresses of the Holy Purist Empire. We're going to race through these. All these people here are being searched to make sure they are not mutants or cyborgs before they're allowed into the actual clean land, which is a large walled-off section of the Holy Purist Empire where they're trying to eradicate all mutant life. And then we move on to duty, far across. There's the map for that. Fort Glory, which is actually built right into the Great Purity Wall, which surrounds the Pure Lands. And a little section of the wall in case characters are trying to break in, and you need the game master needs a section of map. High Watch, another fortress. Now we're at Holy Port on page 223. This is the main naval yard for the Holy Purist Empire, although not the main city. Pure Hub City is the capital of the Holy Purist Empire. It has a population of up to 18,000. The city is divided into Southborough, East Side, West Side. And moving on to other communities in the Purist Empire. Stalwarts, the convent where female pure stocks go for re-education when captured in other lands. And this is quite detailed, including encounters and random events for prisoners of the convent. And then for male pure stock prisoners who need re-education and religious guidance, they go to the Hermitage. So it comes with maps, counter tables, events for male pure stock prisoners within Hermitage. And then we go to Witchburn. Here's where anything non-pure stock goes to die. Part 7 covers the independent settlements, including Gale Spit, which is an open trade town, which will accept characters of any race. Although you do have to turn in your weapons. And we have Leperhold, which is a leper colony in the south. And as leprosy has made a comeback in this world, characters could end up here. Memory is another independent town, but friendly with the lower Freehold. Excellent place to recover. Port Folly is a pirate town. Think Tortuga from the Pirates of the Caribbean. But this one is post-apocalyptic. There's a pirate mutant. And Rockspire, as mentioned in the Pitford book, is an independent religious fortification in the northeast. These people are dedicated to the eradication of Pitford and stopping all excavators from entering the great ruins. Then we come to Rusted Hulk on page 290. The actual community is at the aft end of the ship, and it's called Rusta, and they occupy the superstructure, while most of the great hangar is unexplored and unlooted. Here are some maps showing the different decks. Now we come to Safeport, which is in the northwest along the Pacific coast. This place is a very troubled community, although open to trade. Part 8, we come to nomadic communities. Bosworth's clan, which are wagon people. The floaters, which use hot air balloons to move about the land. Then rafters, which live along the Pacific coast, also called the Tainted Sea. Part 9 covers heroes, outlaws, and organizations. Part 10 covers ruin areas. Each ruin area in the Crossroads region comes with its own encounter table, but it really just covers what are the most commonly met things in each of these devastated areas. Part 11 covers points of interest. Now this is a long section, and usually just gives a paragraph or two, as well as the odd encounter table for areas such as Ajax Lake, the Arcola ramps just on the outside of the ruins, the Bitter Bog area, Blue Reef, Broken Highway, Crater Bridge, Cruelwood, Devil's Hole, Dead River, Fever Lake, Folly Island, Frigate, Goldgrass Plain, Harper's Bridge, Heckler Wood, Lucis River, Newton Point, Overgrown Forest, and Rancid River, Resupply, Shroud Road, Sick Creek, Sour Canyon River. And moving on to Southern Step, Tangle Bay, the Coil, the Rip, the Yacht, Tribulation Flats, Two Craters Lake, White Reef, White Cruiser. And here we come now to part 12, the appendices. A lot of really useful tables here, including Appendix 1, Street Occupants Table, Appendix 2, Bar Patron Tables. Appendix 3 has a brief article on slaves in the Crossroads region. This has two parts. There's one if a GM needs a random slave that the characters can rescue, and the second one is what happens if the characters are enslaved. Appendix 4 covers a brief list of radio stations. Many of these are broadcast from the various factions, such as Purist Talk Radio 88.3 AM or Mutant Liberation Radio 57.5 AM. Appendix 5 covers online resources for those of you who bought the Crossroads Region Gazetteer. We've blocked the address out right now, but when you buy the book, you'll just see it right here on this page. Appendix 6 covers regional maps, and you can either photocopy them directly from the book, or if you have the PDF, just send them as print, or you can download all our maps from the link provided in the book. You can also get the full-colored regional map from our site in various locations. Also included are the force section maps of Overpass, Newburgh, Pure Hub City, as well as a 2-page map of Steel Hill. Finally, we get into the non-player characters. We'll just briefly flip through these. Page 444, you see the Crossroads Region timeline. This goes back to the year 2185 when the Dark Age begins and moves all the way up to when gameplay begins at the year 2364. Page 446 and 447 covers the index in the PDF version of the book. Just click one of these locations and it'll take you right to the page where it's found. The Crossroads Region Gazetteer is available as a softcover book for $36.99 or PDF for $16.99. You can learn more about the Crossroads Region at mutantepoch.com, and thanks for watching.